one day, school one day, school one day. Mary little lamb followed her to school one day. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Hi, I'm the I Love Hillary Clinton guy. And whenever I'm not in the Oval Office or working, I'm always practicing my singing.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo, very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo, very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
When you take a look around you, no matter where you stand, you see proud families, friends and neighbors sharing gifts and helping hands. We're people helping people, and we're proud that we can say we're always getting better, growing stronger every day, taking pride in Mobile. Haven't you noticed? We've got it all right here at home. Nothing can stop us. Taking pride in where we're going. Taking pride in who we are. Mobile, show your pride. Together we'll go far. Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile. Come on, let your spirit show. Taking pride in Mobile. We're growing, shining, winning, so we're taking pride in Mobile. We're all the young.
The Uncle Henry Show, live weekday afternoons at 5 on WNTM.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
If you're traveling in Niceville, crews remain on the scene of an accident. Westbound on I-20, the turn lane onto Bay Drive remains blocked. Also, we've got a crash south on I-65. Just before the Celeste Road exit in Satsuma, all southbound lanes are blocked. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, save on job site supplies with My Lowe's Pro Rewards. Eligible members enjoy volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms, subject to change.
The Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Hey, Uncle Henry. I was just driving through the Bankhead Tunnel, and I had an idea. We should have a haunted tunnel this Halloween. You know, you could invite people to set it up like a theme, and you could do like a walkthrough. Have maybe Trey Lane do some music and some effects in the tunnel. You know, just for like one night only. The haunted Bankhead Tunnel. You know, that'd be fun. Anyway, bye.
Message deleted.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, a center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress, you see. My love is Mobile. That's my wonderful town.
Roll Tide, roll, Uncle Henry.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate it very, very much. I really, really do. Thank you for listening on News Radio 710 WNTM, the AM radio listener. A special place in my heart for the AM radio listener. Also, thank you for listening on the iHeartRadio app, streaming everywhere. And a hello to the people watching on YouTube. If you want to just look at an old man stand in front of a microphone, you can see that on YouTube. Look for Uncle Henry Show on YouTube. Here we are together again. Once again, it's me and you trying to figure out what is going on in the world around us. Seems to be a lot going on, as you may have noticed. If you'd like to talk about whatever it is that's on your mind, as long as it's not pornographic, feel free to call in about it. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry at iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry at iheartmedia.com. Certainly lots of stuff to get to. Still lots of stuff to talk about on the continued fallout from the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We have some interesting and fun endorsements in the Mobile's mayor's race that have not been brought up on the show yet. But I want to begin here with an email I just got this afternoon. Let me go to the Uncle Henry Show email inbox. The subject line on the email is, "Let's not forget." The email reads as follows. Happy Friday, Henry. Hurricane Frederick came ashore the evening of September 12th, 1979, 46 years ago. I'll always remember the ice lines and living on a midtown street that had and will always have utility poles between our houses and the houses behind us. The power crews had to go down every driveway to reconnect us, so we were not a high priority. 3 weeks without electricity was not fun, but we were thankful for being spared any real devastation. Tighten up and have a wonderful weekend. And that email from the Common Man. Common Man, thank you for emailing in. Thank you for listening. Email address unclehenry at iheartmedia.com. Today, the anniversary of Hurricane Frederick, 46 years ago. 45, 46 years, whatever it is. Of course, those of us that are around long enough to remember it would have trouble forgetting it, because you heard the guy say it was 3 weeks without power. Even though they didn't have real tremendous devastation in his neighborhood, they went that long without power. I, of course, remember it well, being of advanced years at the time that Hurricane Frederick hit the Gulf Coast. I was the family was living out in the Sims area. And we went without power for, I guess it was about 2.5 weeks that we went without power. Some of the things I remember were how I slept through the storm. Yes, I slept through it to awaken to the world being changed dramatically. Just the physical aspect of the landscape was changed because so many trees were down. I can remember driving into Mobile the day after, and what normally took about 30 minutes to make it to, from the where I lived, it usually would take about 30 minutes to make it to Airport and McGregor Airport in Azalea, and after Frederick, it took about 90 minutes because of all of the trees that were down everywhere, blocking all the different roads. I remember learning about bartering back then. Yeah, after the storm, we learned about bartering out there in Sims. We didn't own a chainsaw, which was a disgrace for our family. We didn't own a chainsaw, and we had a neighbor with a chainsaw. And I remember we bartered with beer. We used beer to barter for the use of a chainsaw to cut some trees that were down. Learned about bartering. Also, I've told you before, and I've thought about it during this Big Creek Lake fight. Many of the neighbors would get together and go out to Big Creek Lake to bathe. Now, we're worried about the drinking water for malls and Mobile. Worried about invasive species getting into the drinking water. I tell you what, after Frederick, it was bathwater for a while. Yes, there were numerous neighbors that were going out there and bathing in Big Creek Lake. That I was not an eyewitness, but back 46 years ago, the stories about it painted a vivid mental picture in my mind. I remember Jimmy Carter flying over. President Carter flew over to look at the damage. And I believe I was on Bel Air Boulevard. Yes, there was a helicopter, and I remember when Carter flew over. And remembered everybody helping each other. Fortunately, there were some people that got mad at each other because you get ornery when you're without power on the Gulf Coast for that long. But I don't remember any big civil unrest. I just remember some people getting irritated with each other, standing in line for ice. But we all made it. We made it through Hurricane Frederick. And everything looked different from that point forward. I've got callers waiting. I'll go to the phones after the break here on the anniversary of Hurricane Frederick on the Uncle Henry Show.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
If you're traveling in Niceville, crews remain on the scene of an accident. Westbound on I-20, the turn lane onto Bay Drive remains blocked. Also, we've got a crash south on I-65 just before the Celeste Road exit in Satsuma. All southbound lanes are blocked. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. When you hear the small blizzard treat is just 85 cents with $1 purchase in the DQ app, you might just...
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in on YouTube. 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, no wire hangers. Rebecca Lockwood, KP of shirtbutter.com. Steve Summersell, hello to you, Steve. Good to see you. JD, Pat Nelly, Metalhead, Stephen Breland, excuse me, Rob Morris of Mobile Pirate Radio, Timmy Watkins, Timmy, Roll Tide to you, Larry Morting. Thank you all for looking in. Appreciate it very. Sharon of Fairhope. Bama Big Man, Roll Tide Roll to you. I'm going to be back on the radio in about 3 minutes with some people waiting to talk. I'm sure about very serious things. We got plenty of serious things to talk about. But what can I tell you before going back on the radio? In the weird news department for me, over the past year, there have been weird news stories about people getting into huge fights over Pokemon cards around the world. Fighting over them, stealing them from each other, big break-ins. So today, I found this story that the Pokemon cards have gone up in value since 2004 by 3,821%. Now, I don't know what one costs originally, so I don't know what that means in the terms of real-world cash. But they have gone up by 3,821% in value. The S&P 500 has gone up 483% over the same period. So if you do ever get a time machine, before you go back and buy stock in companies, maybe you should just buy a bunch of Pokemon cards. It reminds me, there was the state lawmaker that before he ran for office, I remember they did a feature on him. I don't want to mention who it is, but they did the Press Register did a feature on this guy, just kind of a life story kind of thing. And he bragged about his baseball card collection, saying it was going to be, that was what he was going to save for retirement, or his retirement was going to be baseball cards. And I remember back then, all those years ago, thinking, what a dullard type of thing to say. Of course, I guess I was wrong. He ended up getting elected, and the state loved him. I don't know if his baseball cards paid for his retirement, but maybe he should have bought Pokemon. All right, back on the radio here in less than a minute.
Tomorrow we'll see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will get up to around 90 degrees with a light easterly breeze. We should be rain-free through Sunday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
What if I can guarantee the price of Bitcoin will be $1 million in 2030? Well, I can't, but I can guarantee you'll save a lot of money on blinds at my company, Blindster.com. Free samples, free shipping, and guaranteed to fit. Shop at Blindster.com today.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. It is 5:20. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Telephone number 251-479-2723. I got people waiting to talk. Hello, caller.
Hey, Henry.
Al.
Listen, I ain't going to take up about 1 minute. I just want to make a comment here. I want to congratulate Corey Penn and the city council for not destroying the wave and letting those employees keep their benefits. They got good benefits, Henry, a pension, overtime, annual leave, sick leave, vacation time, and I'm so glad that he got Villa, who was brought in by a lamed-up mayor, and make sure they sign that contract where those folks, those 85 people at the wave can keep their pension and all the stuff that they need. And one thing I'm gonna say too, Henry, about Jill Goddard running for mayor, I would not vote for him because of when he said when he was 4 years old, his daddy shot a man in self-defense, but he didn't say that his daddy shot the man in the back. And he's going around, you know, if he's like Matt Dillon, shot a man in the back, you'll get hung. But I'm finna go now. But he's going around trying to get votes, going to black churches and everything where he never been a day in his life. He's a crook, and I'm not.
Now, do you should he file a lawsuit against you for that? Do you have any evidence of criminal wrongdoing, or are you just being a jerk?
I heard it on Alabama Voices Sunday.
Oh, Alabama Voices Sunday accuses him of committing a crime?
No, I say his dad has shot the man in the back. You know he had the commercial when he was 4 years old and say his daddy.
No, you called him a crook.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion. He going.
Oh, well, then my personal opinion is that you're a crook.
I'm a crook.
Yeah, well, there's no evidence. You're saying it's your personal opinion that Spiro's a crook. You're just saying it's your opinion. You don't have any evidence of it. Well, if you don't need evidence, well, I'll think of some other things to accuse you of then.
Well, you know, like Cowboy said, you can indict a ham sandwich. So you know. All right, Henry. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
All right, Al. There's Al, who talking about Corey Penn saving the bus drivers. Just so you, the listener, can know, the city council had a pre-council committee meeting at like 8 o'clock in the morning this past Tuesday, where they talked about that contract. Now, from what I could see, all of the council people seemed concerned about making sure that the workers were taken care of. So it was not just Corey Penn or a lame duck mayor or anybody. It looked like all of the council members wanted to make sure that all of the bus workers were taken care of and that people didn't lose their sick time or didn't lose their vacation time or anything like that. In fact, I think I remember vividly Gina Gregory speaking up and saying, let's make sure that these people don't lose their accrued vacation time when things go over. So Corey Penn had a part, but everybody else had a part as well, because if you were to actually pay attention to what's going on down there, you would know that there are no council people trying to get rid of the bus services. And looks like all of them are trying to help the workers. 251-479-2723, the telephone number on the Uncle Henry Show. And if you want to watch that meeting and confirm what I've said, it's on YouTube. You can look at, in fact, if you need help going to sleep tonight, go to the Mobile City Council's YouTube channel and watch I think it's the Public Services Committee meeting. Now, the reason I know all this is because I accidentally saw that dadgum meeting when I was getting ready for work Tuesday morning, and I decided to listen to it while I was getting ready for work. So I heard all of the stuff and know that Al is just trying to light a fire when he calls the show. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. And maybe if there's time later, we'll talk about the dueling endorsements, because both the Spiro and Barbara Drummond campaigns got some endorsements this week. Hello, caller.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about, Uncle Henry, is these endorsements, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead, Bamba Bushhog.
Yes, sir. Listen here. You know, Mayor up in Birmingham is endorsed Barbara Drummond, and we all know she's Democrat, right?
Right, yeah.
Now, today, Cory Booker, a United States Senator, endorsed Barbara Drummond.
Yes.
Now, I don't understand, Uncle Henry, I wish someone would explain to me why it is that in the general election here in Mobile County in 2024, Mobile County voted Republican, 58% Republican, and 41% Democrat. Now, during these...
But I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're talking about the county, right?
Yes, sir.
This is a city election. And the city of Mobile is not hardcore red like the county is.
Well, I'm just wondering, why is it that nobody knows about Barbara Drummond talking bad about President Trump and the MAGA supporters back in the day up in Montgomery? I mean, if everybody in Mobile knew about this, I'm thinking that we're more conservative than what you think, Uncle Henry. And if everybody knew which candidate was endorsed by which political party, we could have a better understanding and make our vote count better. We'd be more informed.
Well, see, I think people do know. Spiro ran as a Republican to be a judge. Barbara Drummond has run as a Democrat to be in the legislature. People know that one is a Democrat and one is a Republican. I think, and it's obvious when you're getting New Jersey Senator Corey Penn endorsing you that you're advertising yourself as a far left type person. But as I said, Mobile is not a rock solid red voting town. The city of now the Mobile County, you're not going to find a lot of Democrats elected to countywide positions, but there are Democrats that can get elected in Mobile municipal elections, even though it's a nonpartisan election. This is I would describe Mobile as very purple. I live in Midtown Mobile. I walk my dog all throughout the streets of the city of Mobile, and I see way more left-wing stuff in people's yards, yard signs and things like that, than I ever see anything right-wing. So she, I'm sure, feels like this is going to shore up her support in the city of Mobile.
Well, that's probably true. But let me ask you one more thing before I let you go, Uncle Henry.
Yes.
I saw you on Studio 10 on the news the other day.
Yeah.
Talking. Well, your hair was so full and luxurious. I'm wondering what kind of shampoo and conditioner you use.
I don't look. Let me think about that. I'm trying to think of when was. I think it's called Cascade. I just take it off and put it in the dishwasher. And I think my wife, see, I never would buy Cascade because it's so expensive, but my wife buys the Cascade. So it's Cascade.
All lanes are currently blocked due to a crash southbound on I-65 approaching Celeste Road in Satsuma. Use an alternate route there. We also have some slowing on the Bayway east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 35-minute drive. And on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, an 8-minute drive.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hello, I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. Drexler Johnson has been indicted by a Greene County grand jury on 3 counts of capital murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. The allegations of the indictment relate to the January murders of Lester Campbell, Rhonda Denson, and Dirk Jason Thornton. Prosecutors say Johnson killed them during a robbery at the Clark's Exxon gas station in State Line, Mississippi. Johnson's court date will be set soon. Johnson was initially charged with accessory after the fact. His charges were upgraded to capital murder in March. Now, if convicted, Johnson would face life in prison or the death penalty. A federal jury sided with a Baldwin County Sheriff's deputy in a wrongful death lawsuit claiming he used unlawful force in fatally shooting the driver of a car that crashed on I-10. In weighing the evidence, the judge told jurors they should apply a more likely than not standard. Unlike the high reasonable doubt standard in a criminal trial, jurors only had to believe the scale was tipped slightly in one direction or the other. Well, sports betting has exploded in recent years nationwide, with people wagering billions per year. In Alabama, sports betting is still illegal. State lawmakers say Alabama loses an estimated $300 to $400 million per year to the lottery alone, with an additional estimated $50 to $75 million in sports betting. Lawmakers also say there's been an uptick in illegal sports betting already happening in Alabama, and it's possible another gaming bill could be introduced in the upcoming legislative session. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. Utah's Governor Spencer Cox announcing that a 22-year-old male is under arrest accused in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at a Utah University campus. Donald Trump Jr., a friend of Kirk's, joined Fox saying when the left is losing an argument, they turn to violence.
Charlie's crime was talking about God, family, country, all those things that are verboten to Democrats. God forbid you like those things.
On the Fox News Channel, Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin says Kirk was a person who looked to reach out across the aisle.
This one hurts, and it hurts because it was absolutely senseless. And I think that's why, be it from the left or the right, are all shaken up by this, because it was so senseless.
Several Democratic leaders, like former President Obama, have denounced political violence. Police believe the suspect acted alone. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, YouTube viewers going to be back on the radio here in less than 3 minutes. Thank you for looking at the Uncle Henry Show on YouTube. I see we have a small number of people looking in. Art Rogue, whoever you are. I see 68-year-old Chris wanting to know my weekend plans. Well, 68-year-old Chris, they're being formulated by somebody other than me is formulating them. So when I don't know what they are yet. I don't know what they are yet. But thank you for asking. I do know that I will be visiting Baldwin County at some point tomorrow. But thank you, 68-year-old Chris, thank you for always wanting to know about my whereabouts. Now, what can I tell you about? Here's a story out of Texas. A man is in trouble with the law. In Texas, there were two friends, and they were playing a game. They were drinking. Sean O'Donnell and Aaron Prout, they were drinking. And they wanted to play with their Kevlar helmets. So they both held their Kevlar helmets above their heads and shot at them with rifles. And one of the guys missed the helmet and hit his friend instead. You know, these kind of stories, you would think that now that the internet exists, now that you've got the internet, video games, you can watch TV shows on your phone, do people really need to drink and shoot at each other for entertainment? Because they were entertaining themselves. One of them had been in the Royal Marines from Great Britain. He was in the UK Royal Marines for 10 years.
710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It is 5:35. If you'd like to call the show, there's something you want to bring up, 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. You can also hear me on FM radio Monday through Friday. I'm on 95 KSJ playing today's hottest country music. All next week, we're going to be giving away tickets to see Jason Aldean. He's going to be in Biloxi, Mississippi Coast Coliseum in January. Tickets go on sale a week from today, but you can win tickets all week long by listening to 95 KSJ. And also, you can enter for your chance to win at 95ksj.com if you want to win them tickets to see Jason Aldean in Biloxi in January. Again, the telephone number here, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, I mentioned, before I go to any voicemail or anything else like that, I mentioned the endorsements in the mayor's race that we hadn't talked about on the program. Now, we got the call from Al earlier, and that that brought up the Alabama bush hog calling in about the new endorsement for Barbara Drummond. State Representative Barbara Drummond announcing that she has the endorsement of New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, endorsing her for mayor of Mobile. Now, I guess that'll make her current supporters feel great. Can't hurt among your current supporters. But the question is, are you trying to reach any of the people that voted for Connie Hudson or Paul Prine and bring them over to vote for you? I mean, I don't know if this strategy is going to work or not. The getting people like Pete Buttigieg to endorse you. That was comically a terrible endorsement to get. But Cory Booker, if she wins, it'll look brilliant. But if she doesn't, why would you want to bring in that kind of endorsement? Because it will, for those that are politically polarized one way or the other, it is going to have quite a polarizing effect to get Cory Booker's endorsement. I can't remember a mayor's race in Mobile having these kind of endorsements. I've heard of local endorsements, of course, from different labor unions, and you get the people that work with law enforcement and all that kind of stuff making endorsements, and you'll have other political figures on the local level make endorsements back in the day. I can't remember nationally known figures coming in and doing this. So we'll all find out, I suppose, later this month, September 23rd, if it helps her or not. But I would not. It's something I would not be trying. It would be that I'm trying to think. I'm sure there are big name Republicans that Spiro could probably get to offer an endorsement, but it would not be to his benefit to do that. Now, the other endorsement that has already been widely reported on is that the Mobile Area Association of Realtors officially endorsed Spiro in the election, and they gave as the reason his commitment to strong neighborhoods and economic growth. So the Mobile Realtors endorsing Spiro, and a big left-wing Senator Spartacus, Cory Booker endorsing Representative Drummond. Again, 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Let me go to some voicemail messages that have come in. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. Let me see. I got a message here from somebody that I believe has not called the show before.
Uncle Henry, this is Keats. I'm a Yankee transplant down here to Mobile since January. Big fan.
Really? I'm already a little suspicious, Keith. No offense. No, I'm not. Look, I'm just a little suspicious that a Yankee transplant would immediately like the show. Usually people have to listen for 5 or 6 years before they will admit they like the show, so I'm a little suspicious. I do want to mention you're a Yankee transplant. I've mentioned this before a few times. My father was born in Queens, New York, so I am half Yankee by birth. I know that's a shock thing for many people to admit, to learn, but yes, I'm half Yankee.
Down here to Mobile since January. Big fan. Really enjoy the show. I have a comment about the mayoral race. I live in Midtown. I bought a nice old historic home here. And one complaint, Uncle Henry, about Mobile, the roads suck. I don't care who becomes mayor. They got to concentrate on two things. Number one, fix the roads. Number two, make sure that, we have a safe city.
All right, pausing there again just to say thank you for that. Number one, fix the roads. People have all these great visions for Mobile and what Mobile might become. All the big potential. We got this going. We're going to have this airport. We're going to have this bridge. And we have all this industry. And we're going to have this big entertainment. We're going to have the new arena. And we're going to have this other big development downtown. Everybody's excited about the potential of Mobile. But if I live in Midtown and I want to get to any of these things, it's going to tear up my car to ride down the road. In the issue of torn up roads, it affects people of every political persuasion. The left-wingers and the right-wingers, and the people dumb enough not to be a winger, they all have to ride down these terrible roads. Please, politicians, the basics of a city are police, fire department, and infrastructure, roads and drainage and stuff like that. Everything else is gravy. If you can't take care of the basics, you've got no business being in office.
One, fix the roads. Number two, make sure that, we have a safe city. If you do those two things, everything else fall in place. Everything will be great here. You know what I mean, Uncle Henry? And one other thing. I live near, you probably know where it is, Uncle Henry, because I think you live in Midtown. There's a Salvation Army place on Dolphin Street.
Yes.
Somebody needs to tell them to tear down that ratty old fence they have around that thing. Looks terrible. It's an eyesore. Yeah, huh? Anyway, Uncle Henry, really enjoy the show. And in the words of the late great General Joshua Chamberlain, stand firm, ye boys from Maine.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much for your voicemail, Keith at Yankee Transplant. Keith, please call again and tell me more about just any observations since you've been here since January. Would like to hear your observations about the town, especially now as we are heading into what we hope is a great time for Mobile with all of the things that are cooking. Even though we have horrible roads, we do have a lot of great things cooking in this town. So I'd love to hear more from you as we go forward. There's more Uncle Henry Show to come after the break here on News Radio 710.
All lanes are currently blocked due to a crash southbound on I-65 approaching Celeste Road in Satsuma. Use an alternate route there. We also have some slowing on the Bayway east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 35-minute drive. And on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, an 8-minute drive.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal.
All right. YouTube viewers, thank you for looking if you still are. Going to be back on the radio here in just a few minutes. Let me see what I can tell you about. First, let me verify that somebody's still looking. And yeah, there's a small number of you there. Thank you, small number of people. Ben Griffin. Ben, thank you for your continued. It's an honor to know that you'd look at this show, Ben, knowing that you have alternatives like the TV show Alice. You told us yesterday that you are watching Alice. And you could easily be watching Alice right now. I'm sure there's Alice episodes out there streaming somewhere. So I'm honored. And let's see. And the Love Freak 69, thank you for watching, Love Freak 69. All right, now what can I tell you? Let me look for some really weird news. According to Sioux Falls Police, they got a 911 call last Sunday reporting a snake bite. Officers with animal control arrived at an apartment in Sioux Falls that was a home for an eastern diamondback rattlesnake and 2 African forest cobras. The rattler was in a glass container, but the 2 cobras were let loose when the plastic totes they were in were accidentally knocked over. The owner of the snakes accidentally stepped on one of the cobras and got bit. Had to be taken to the hospital. There is no word on the person's condition. Eventually, they were rounded up and taken to a Reptile Gardens zoo. The Sioux Falls police are trying to figure out what they can. They want to charge him with something, and I would be mad too if I were called out and there were cobras and nobody warned me. So I guess they're trying to figure out what they can charge him with. All right, in West Yorkshire, England, there is a dispute between a woman and the town council. They're mad at the woman. She has put a 4-foot gorilla statue outside of her house. And the town council has demanded that the statue be removed, claiming it's a structural issue and an obtrusive feature on a residential street. None of the neighbors have complained. So now she's appealing the decision to make her remove her gorilla statue. There is no word on why she wants to have a gorilla statue in her front yard.
Don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM. It is 5:50. If you want to call the show, there's still time to slip a call in. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. That's Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. And if you're looking for something to do tonight, of course, there are a bunch of high school football games going on this evening. They're always fun. And also, tonight is the Loda Art Walk in downtown Mobile, going on from 6 to 9. I've always enjoyed going to the Loda Art Walk. It's just when the weather isn't too hot. It's always just nice and relaxing to walk around in downtown Mobile there. Look at all the different art that is available to either just look at or purchase, and they have all the great food downtown. Just Loda Art Walk going on, and they are commemorating today as National Video Game Day, and they're going to have some kind of a gaming truck in their kids zone. Now, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a truck with a bunch of games in it, and they're inviting people to go on the truck and play games. I don't know. But that's going on at the Lodi Art Walk in downtown Mobile tonight. And also, it's another Roll Mobile skate night where they block off the streets around Bienville Square for people to roller skate. This is the kind of stuff that I've been told as an older American that young voters love. That well, I don't know that any young voters listening to this. Maybe somebody, I don't know, young, if 50 is considered young. But I've been told that young voters want their cities, instead of paving streets adequately and providing proper drainage, instead they'd like cities to have entertainment. And so you can go downtown and you can roller skate and you can just enjoy downtown Mobile. That's all going on in downtown Mobile, the Lodi Art Walk with Roll Mobile Skate Night tonight. And remember, skateboards not allowed, only roller skates. Hoverboards not allowed, only roller skates. Bicycles not allowed, only roller skates. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, this is RT.
RT, you are live on the radio.
Hey, you're talking about events and everything, but Alabama's got an early game tomorrow.
Yes, they do.
11 a.m. So don't get too tired tonight. We need to be up and at 'em. And it's important. I think Alabama, there's still hope.
Good.
Still hope.
Good. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, and I'm looking. We got Georgia next, so we need to handle Wisconsin.
That I'm with you.
It's a Big Ten team, and we need to be up and at 'em in the morning and be ready for this football game.
I agree with that. And hey, in the commercial breaks, you can flip over and see University of South Alabama Jags taking on Auburn tomorrow, also an early game.
And I'm praying for them. I'm a South Alabama alum, Uncle Henry. I'm praying for them.
Oh, hey, well, congratulations.
I'm so disappointed in that Tulane game, but, I'm proud of our Jaguars. I really am. But, but it's not over with Alabama either.
Good.
I don't think so at all.
I appreciate that. And I hope you understand this does make me, you're helping me personally when you call in and say these things. You lift my spirits when you tell me that there's still hope for Alabama. I appreciate that.
Of course there is. I mean, Florida State's nailing everybody else that are playing in the country. That makes us look good. And as long as we do the same, that's the rematch of the year.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, Florida State manhandled their people. They won. They scored over 70 points. Alabama scored over 70 points. I see this continuing.
All right. Well, I'm glad. This is what a wonderful call, RT, to tell me that there's still hope and remind me that I need to be ready for that game at 11. I will be.
Yeah, 11 in the morning. We need to be up and at 'em, get you a good breakfast, and let's get this ball game done. And let's get the South, too.
I agree.
Jags.
Go Jags and roll tide.
Have a great, roll tide, roll. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you, RT. What a wonderful call here at the end of this hour. A call of hope. Been a rough week, but a call of hope. And we get to say roll tide and go Jags in the same breath. All right, there's more to come. Got news headlines on the way. And then after the news headlines, an additional half hour of Uncle Henry Show to come on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Securing America.
As America held 9/11 remembrance ceremonies, attention was paid to the continuing lessons of that.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking on YouTube. I really appreciate that. I will be back Monday at the regular time, at the regular place. Have a wonderful weekend.
Around the globe. Not everyone needs to wear a uniform, but some of us do.
The Secretary also spoke about the next generation of Americans and our collective responsibility.
Prepare them to defend this nation by the ballot, the wallet, and when necessary, the cloth of our country.
Which he admits will become more difficult as more time passes.